Greetings, everyone. Hey, it's been a while, about what, 1 week or something like that. Have an interesting little broadcast today to talk about. I've been working on a vacuum forming machine, but I'm not going to. This broadcast is scheduled to go live at the bottom of the hour, so I still have about 10 minutes to go. So I'm still in the process of setting up. I just came back from running an errand, and so I just turned on one, two, three, four, five, six of the 3D printers here, and I turned on the laser cutter out there. I just turned on the machine for the laser cutter as well. So I'm in the process of setting up. So if you don't mind, um, I guess I should do a little banner. It just says "Stand by for live broadcast." I guess I can. Can I edit this? Yeah. Yeah. Maybe I should say "Not yet live." Yeah, maybe I should do another create banner. Still setting up. Stand by. Feels warm all of a sudden. Maybe I should open the window. Add banner. Show. Oh, that's a ticker. I guess delete this. I can't create any more tickers. Scroll across bottom ticker. Okay, that's it. Dot dot dot. Still setting up. And add banner. Okay. Show. How's that? Oh, that looks better. Okay, yeah. So still in the process of setting up. 2 minutes ago, apparently. So let me switch over, and I know I'm still talking as if this was a live broadcast right now. Maybe I do that too much. Maybe I mumble to myself too much. Yeah, I feel like I should open the windows a little bit. I hope get some breeze. Oh, there's water out there. It's a golf course. There's no movement on the golf course water thing. So I guess the wind has died. Computer, is it windy?
Currently, it's breezy at 6.9 miles per hour. Today, expect more of the same.
Okay, gotta log in. Okay. Setting up still. Log it into the network. Sounds like something shifted. Oh, I was looking at the wrong time. Got about 6 minutes to go. It's the neighbors. Um, Consoles. I need to do 2A. Yeah, I could really use a. I suppose I could really use a dual monitor setup. That way I could keep comments on one screen and I could keep my. Can I mix and match different monitor sizes? Would I try to keep like the same resolution across both monitors? So if I have a big monitor and a small monitor, do they both have to be the same resolutions? Check for update. No. Say that. Open. Display put 2. Oh. Wrong. Settings. I'm checking the settings. Should be the same settings as yesterday. So oh, I don't have to go there still. Exports. Calculating toolpath. So this will take 2 hours to do. Begin now. Okay. Okay, we're starting, going live. Greetings, everyone. Seems like deja vu since I just said that 10 minutes ago. How y'all doing? Thank you for joining. It's a bit of a weird broadcast thing today. I've been kind of like looking at other people when they do their live broadcasts. Sometimes they start early, and I see them eating their food, things like that. Give it a chance for people to arrive, to come, and join the stream. So I think I'm going to try to do that for some of these broadcasts instead of just sometimes I come home, I get ready, I get in the mood to do a broadcast, and then I plunge right in, instead of giving a time, and then when the time starts, I plunge right in also, and not everyone has arrived, things like that. So I'm going to try to change things up a little bit, make a little bit, take my time at it in that sense, and give a chance for people to join, and before I actually get rolling. So with all that, I'm going to just keep the comment section up in case anyone has comments. Like I said, I don't have I don't have a two monitors. I don't have a dual monitor setup. So if you leave a comment on my Facebook account, I have to refresh Facebook in order to see if there's any comments in my on my Facebook wall. If you're leaving a comment on Facebook at the DioWarriors store site, I should see the comments here. Same thing with YouTube. I should see the comments here as well. So, with all of that said, I'm kind of getting back into the swing of things. Had some large orders that have been finishing up, and so over the weekend was doing quite a bit of laser cutting. And there's someone who ordered a lot of wooden chairs for like I suppose a cowboy display or something, cowboy diorama. So I did a lot of chairs on that yesterday, and they came out really nice. I just have to bag them up now, and I it would probably be smart for me to laser cut another set of these chairs and kind of keep them in inventory. So I think I will do that. Right now I have other things being laser cut. Um, but I've been working on one particular project that kind of want to clue everyone in on what it is. A few weeks ago, my wife was showing me someone on YouTube who was making small little miniatures, I suppose, for 6-inch scale figures, 1/12 scale. And the guy made his own mini vacuum forming machine. So it's a handheld unit, and so he had some sort of handheld mini vac. I suppose held it like this. He got the big bag in the back. So I had a small little nozzle. So he would just connect his vacuum forming box right to it. So it was a small thing, about so big. And what I liked about it was very convenient. He would spend time, let's say, for example, he's doing a water bottle, like for an office, one of those 5-gallon jugs of water. So he would make the water thing. He would cut pieces of styrene. So he would set this up, put it on his perforated grid for the vacuum machine, and then he'll take time on a hot plate, heating up some plastic on a little frame, and then manually he'll just put this plastic on the object on the vacuum machine, and turn it on, and you'll see the thing going. In other words, it was a vacuum forming machine for very small projects, very convenient. Not for not one of those big machines where you have a whole bunch of stuff and you're trying to vacuum form a bunch. This was just very convenient for one-off projects. So I was thinking I can do the same. That might make it convenient for me. And if I need a bigger machine, hey, look at that, still got banner. So if I need it for myself, I could get a bigger machine if I need to do more. Is what I'm saying. And so for convenience, I can just take a little model of something, put it on the vacuum thing, heat up the plastic, put it right on top, turn it on, done. Take it out, cut it around, and I have a thing. So it's good for prototyping. It's good for simple products, simple stuff. Not only that, but when you buy packaging, a G.I. Joe figure or something, you get the bubble part. Well, you can cut that out if you have a small item, and you can vacuum form using just that piece of plastic. So I was thinking, that's probably a good idea. So for the past 2 weeks, I thought about ordering a shop vac. So I got myself a small little mini shop vac on Amazon, and so I got something like this. It comes with standard hose, And then for the next week, I laser cut some items. From Office Depot, there's these 1.5 liter boxes, and so I had some of those left over from other projects, and I sacrificed one. I cut a hole out of it, laser cut a perforated grid on top, and this is what I got. So this is my prototype item. The holes were supposed to be 2 millimeters. It came out larger, so I got to go back and figure out why. And because I specified 2 millimeter diameters, not radius, and this came out about 4 millimeters diameter. So I got to go back and find out why. So I laser cut this on some acrylic. This is a 1/4 inch thick acrylic, and the underside of it, I just also laser cut some, I guess, like washers, and some Allen screws left over. So the idea is that if I need a different kind of perforated surface, I can laser cut different diameters, different locations, different patterns. And let's see. For the inside of the box, this is 3D printed here, so I just took an X-Acto knife, made some outlines, realized it was too thick for the X-Acto, so I took out my Dremel and just made some cuts, and then finish it off with X-Acto knife. 3D printed the orange items here, both inside and out. Made a nice tight seal, so you can see the inside, something like that. It's got this this on the inside, this kind of like lip. It's like a locking area. So on the hoses themselves, at least this one, it has a locking part here, so it locks into the opening on the vacuum, and the little notch kind of flexes a little bit just there. So I was thinking that would be useful if I can just lock it into place. So it kind of does that. And also I figured out that this nozzle part of the hose is actually tapered a little bit. It's tapered forward a little bit. There is about a 1-degree draft, so the diameter of the opening is smaller than the diameter back here. And in with certain light, you can actually see the taper. So when I made this part of the well, I don't know what you call it. This part of this thing has no draft, but the inside has a 1-degree draft, and it seems to fit perfectly for what I needed to do. I don't know if this is actually a 1-degree draft, but it was close enough. So it does lock into place with a little bit of grab. And when I test it with the vacuum, I don't feel any suction coming from the outside. So it seems to be doing its job. And this thing fits right at the top, locks into place. I'm ready to go. Don't know what that was. Little spot of something. There it is again. It's right there. Oh, it's a little bit of what you call it, tape. acrylics usually come with a protective layer of tape, and you can burn right through it. And usually that's what I do, especially on the underside, because when you can see it right there. When the acrylics go over the crumb tray when the laser goes over the crumb tray being metal, there's usually a flame flashback or feedback, and that usually burns the underside of the material. So I usually leave the paper, tape, whatever under in place on the underside. But so anyway, this is how it is, and I still have more things to do with it. What I need to do now, the next step, is I need to put some weather stripping foam all all along the edge, because there's a little bit of gap. So when I turn the vacuum on, I can feel the suction here, but I can also feel the suction here. And I want to concentrate as much of the suction in this area. And let's see, I also need to weather strip the interior, the inside of this, just a little bit. So when I put this on, I want there to be some compression with the foam. I want to clamp it down, and have some resistance, because even though I don't really feel there's a lot of suction coming from underneath, I still feel that there is, and so I want to eliminate that. And then I'll run some tests. The other thing I need to do is a frame. In fact, I have the frame here. Let me go get that. Let me go get that. So this is the initial frame. So far, I've designed two. I've designed two of these, and it's got splinters, but I don't know what size I need yet. So I'm kind of winging it at this point. The idea is that somewhere I'll have some plastic I'm going to vacuum form, so I need to heat it up. I probably will use a heat gun rather than a hot plate. But hot plate might be an interesting idea, because I can get it really close, and it should evenly heat up everything, rather than a heat gun that will blow more specific locations. So as I blow here, this part is cooling, so I have to move it quick. So a hot plate might actually be the smarter way to go to heat up everything. So the idea is, once the plastic is hot, I probably will have, at this point, some binder clips, just clipping the plastics together. That's why I have this straight sides rather than curved, so that way I can easily clip binder clips basically anywhere I need. And so once the thing is heated up and kind of soft, I should just be able to just put it on top. Now, another version I have of this, I don't know what you call it, the frame. It's just big enough to go on the outside of this. So the idea is that it allows me to have tighter contact with the perforated stuff. So I am thinking of laser cutting that also. So that way I have two to experiment with. The other thing is I made like a little gasket. Uh, the original idea was to use both this frame as well as the other one that I'm talking about, and have a gasket in between. The idea is that the other frame, being smaller, will expose some of the gasket, and maybe that gasket can kind of provide a tighter or some sort of seal. So when I put the things on, there's like some sort of seal on there. And I have these, holes on there for Allen screws, torque screws, so I can put the other frame on top and I can cap it down. Or the idea could be, if I need to have the plastic inside, and I can just, maybe screw it down, screw something tightly down on there if binder clips are not tight enough. So I'm just kind of winging it as I go. And this is the project. By the way, what I'm using as the gasket um, is what you find in the doctor's office or the dentist office. Sterilized sterilized wraps. So they come very large. You can get them like in bulk. So I got a bunch of these in bulk. Got them at the time when masks were limited supply and the pandemic was just building up, and everyone was wondering, like, well, you don't have masks and you can't find a mask. Can you make a mask? And the idea was, um, you know, one idea was, and apparently what I found out was some doctor somewhere realized, like, if you have like 2 layers of these masks, it's enough to prevent the size of the virus from going through. And it is breathable. With just this is 2 layer, it comes 2 layers, so it is breathable already. So if you know do double, it'll be a little bit harder to breathe, but I suppose it would be sufficient to block that virus. I don't know if there was any testing afterwards, so I'm taking a lot of that on face value. But anyway, that was the time how things were back then. People were thinking, well, it's better than nothing, and it's better than a cloth mask. So thinking, well, gosh, who knows how long that pandemic was going to be, and who knows when things become more available. So the idea was, if it came down where me and my wife, if we needed our own masks and the masks were impossible to get, and family members also needed masks and they couldn't get any because it was just impossible to get, well, I could do two things: either make a mask that I can wear and I can send it out to family. So in other words, get a bunch, in bulk. Or, and this was the better idea, was to simply laser cut circles and put them as replacement filters for. I have a 3M breathing mask that I use for, like, when I'm doing some cutting or something. And so the idea was to uh, make these things replacement filters essentially. So that was the idea. And but thank God, supplies for masks never got down to that level. And it was also at a time when people were making all kinds of masks, face shields for hospitals, and all sorts of things like that. So I got a bunch of these sterilized wraps, spare left over. So gotta use them. So might as well use them for a gasket. So anyway, that's the project here. Another way for me to seal up these gaps is to use some hot glue, and I may do that. But what I want to do is just have it so I can just simply unscrew and replace the perforated portion with other perforated stuff, and so that way I can make something modular, basically replaceable. A different material, for example. Um, if I want to use acrylic or metal, you know, change the diameter of those. So that was the idea. So far, it's working okay. I'm happy with how it's coming out. I'm kind of learning as I go with it, so I'm making small improvements as I go. And yeah, so what I got to do next is get some weatherproofing foam and try to seal up the gaps. Run a test. If these diameter holes are too large, I can reduce them, do another cut, replace it, and see what works. So if all this works, I'm trying to make a video as I go step by step. So if anybody out there wants to do their own, it's at least there's going to be a how-to, or how-to I did it, that kind of thing. Do it yourself. So something like that. With the vacuum hose, convenient for small projects. You got the vacuum going on. You just have something on there. You just tap it down, turn it on. Instant vacuum forming on the cheap. So okay, so that's it. Now I got other little projects, so yeah. So that's it. That was basically the thing. So if you're interested, I'm still working on different other projects, 3D printing, of course. I am bringing up the old barrels that I did some years ago. These are 3D printed in wood. This is a barrel with spigot there on top. This was a prototype, or a spigot in front. This is 3D printed here. And this is another barrel that I printed last week. I'm printing another one right now. And I'm going to do an experiment. First of all, I'm going to have several of these, in inventory. And this dark one, by the way, it was about as light as this color, but I used some dark varnish. And so this is actual wood varnish on top of it. And so I'm going to do another thing where I'm going to have like a system to stack the barrels. And for fun, I'm thinking of making a small little wine cellar. Because one of the things I want to do with the vacuum forming stuff is to vacuum form my beer bottles or whiskey bottles. And so I have a bunch of those. And that stuff is easy to 3D print, easy to vacuum form. And so I'm thinking of vacuum forming a bunch of that. And so that way I could have whiskey bottles on the cheap, sell whiskey bottles, I suppose, like $1 or something like that. The other thing is, with the vacuum forming machine, can make a 2-part mold, and So you can fill both sides with resin and basically do resin casts. So something like that, I could easily sell the vacuum form mold of it. And if you do your own casting, that will be something to do. You won't have to worry about making the cast. Just get it from us or your clear resin, and you have 100, 1,000 whiskey bottles if you wanted, or beer mugs or something like that. And I want to do the same thing with chemistry sets. So that'll be interesting to see. So in terms of the wine cellar diorama, I'm thinking about doing several of these barrels to do. I also want to do an oversized barrel, like a big one, for a really large supply. There's also years ago I did a small version of the barrel. I need to do this one over again because I don't like the way it came out. But this is a small little. This is a regular plastic 3D print. So I need to do the same thing, the same technique I did for these. I need to do it for this, and make like a small barrel that a horse can carry instead of a mule carrying side by side. You can have a small barrel like this on the side of a wagon or side of or mounted on a horse, or part of the pack for a mule or something. So that's it. I'm going to try something interesting. So who knows? There's more I can do with the laser cut machines. One thing I'm thinking about with this is, well, what if I did some sort of Italian cafe or something like that? You got barrels stacked up with some nice wine. You got a table, some chairs, and then with the laser cut machines, I can laser cut leaves of some plants, like a fern or something like that, and just have potted plants looking like ferns, I suppose. And the laser cut machine would make it easy, actually. Um, some tracing paper, I suppose. Airbrush it with some sort of green, laser cuts, and I should have instant ferns, and just make a bunch of potted plant stuff. I mean, they do that for other scales, so why not 1/18 scale? Why not 1/12 scale? So, okay, well, that's it for now. So, doing these barrels, doing more barrels. I got some more like this, like these, both this scale for 6-inch figures and 1/18 scale barrels also being done right now. Here's an untreated one, and I'm going to try to bring up some or resurrect some old dioramas that I had in the past, and I'm just going to try to bring it up again, taking advantage of what I can do that you really don't see other people doing. So, trying to stay unique. Break the mold by doing things other people only talk about. Well, that sounds very, kind of dramatic. So, okay, folks. By the way, so I'm using this microphone over here, but the camera's over here, and so I wonder if I should move the microphone over here, things like that. That's it. Okay, thank you for joining. If you like the video, please like and subscribe. It does help. And I think 45-minute video is probably a good time to call it quits. 12:04. Uh, yeah. So thank you for joining, and see y'all next time. Bye bye.